You're listening to The Standard Podcast. Eye-opening for your ears.
สวัสดีค่ะโบสาวิตรีนะคะ This is We Need To Talk Podcast Talk Show ภาษาอังกฤษสำหรับคนไทยที่ใช้ภาษาอังกฤษค่ะ Hi you guys welcome to our show thank you so much for listening guest ของเราในวันนี้นะคะเป็นอาจารย์รูปหล่อชาวอเมริกันที่อยู่เมืองไทยมานานจนพูดภาษาไทยชัดกว่าคนไทยหลายๆคนไปแล้วค่ะประมาณ10ปีที่แล้วอดัม แบรดชอว์จับพลัดจับผลูถูกส่งมาทำงานที่เมืองไทยแต่เขาก็หลงรักประเทศอากาศร้อนๆที่มีแต่อาหารเผ็ดๆแห่งนี้เข้าเต็มเป่าเลยค่ะ We Need To Talk ตอนนี้ใครอยากรู้เรื่องชีวิตอเมริกันในรัฐยูทาห์เรื่องการต่อสู้รบรากับนักเลงคีย์บอร์ดสุดเกรียนหรือเรื่องการเลี้ยงลูกให้เป็นเด็ก2ภาษาเดี๋ยวโบจะถามอาจารย์อดัมมาให้นะคะเอาล่ะค่ะตอนนี้ได้เวลาเปลี่ยนโหมดเป็นภาษาอังกฤษกันแล้วพร้อมหรือยังคะ Ladies and gentlemen, it would be my pleasure to introduce our guest for this episode of We Need to Talk podcast. With almost 2.5 million followers and subscribers on all his social media, he is definitely one of the most famous English teachers out there. Let's meet him now, Adam Bradshaw.Hello อาจารย์อดัมสวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีครับ
Welcome to our show and it's so nice to finally have you here. I've been saying to our producers since day one, we need to get him here.
All right.
Yes, and it's finally so good to have you here.
แสดงว่าติดตามผลงานใช่ไหมครับ
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
I mean, I follow you on Twitter actually.
Okay, good.
And I love the way you can make people remember certain tricks and tips about English and stuff.
I do my best, you know. Yeah. I consider myself a professional now. It's been about 8 years of teaching now. Well, depending on how you look at it. I mean, maybe 8 years of an actual, being an actual teacher in Thailand. But before that, I was still volunteering to teach English, like when I first came.
Yeah.
So I try to do my best.
Yay. Okay, since a lot of our guests who came on this show have actually spent some time abroad. And, obviously we've learned a thing or two from them, whether it's about the places or the different cultures. So I guess today we'll learn a thing or two about Utah, USA, because that's where you're from, right?
So I was born in Salt Lake City, Utah, which is the capital of Utah. And if you open up the map of the United States of America, you'll see California on the West Coast, right?
Yes.
And then Nevada, where you've got Las Vegas. And then the next state over is Utah, right? And so it's considered the Midwest, but it's really more the West. When people ask me where I'm from, I say I'm from the West, if they don't know where Utah is. But anyway, so I was born in Salt Lake City, but I moved to Portland, Oregon when I was about 4. Was I 3 or 4? But 3 or 4.
Oh, and, until when?
Until I was about 12. And so, grew up in, so what we call it, not a Utahn. I was an Oregonian first, Oregonian. And then I moved back to Utah and became a Utahn again. And that's where I went to junior high and high school.
That sounds so cool, Utahns. It almost sounds like, like Spartans.
Spartans, Utahns,
you sound
Californians,
so cool. Yeah. Californians sound like airheads. Like, it sounds like very light, you know what I mean?
It just depends, because California, they have the whole Valley Girl kind of stigma, right? Where it's just like, oh my gosh, like, they say like too much.
Yeah.
Which I think I might say
guilty.
like too much. No, I might too. I might say it too much too. So
I try to stop myself, but sometimes when I'm not careful, I notice that I say like way too many times.
Or just like, I say probably too much.
Yeah.
I don't know. Or even say, I don't know. I don't know. ไม่รู้กลายเป็นคนโง่หรืออะไรก็ไม่รู้ I don't know. No.
So if we were to visit Utah, when would be the best time to do so?
Depends on what kind of vacation you're looking for. If you're looking for like summer backpacking or going camping.
I went there to camp before.
There you go.
Yeah.
I mean,
in
because
the summer.
They've got the Rocky Mountains right there.
Yeah.
I mean, Salt Lake City is in the middle of a valley and, they've got mountains on both sides. So it's great for camping, hiking, mountain biking. wakeboarding, if you like to wakeboard or water ski, because they've got a bunch of reservoirs and lakes. So the summer's great, but if you're looking to snowboard or ski, the winter is the best time to go, obviously, because the snow is considered, I mean, this might be a little biased because I'm from there, but they say it in Ski Magazine and Snowboard Magazine. So this is not biased. This is fact, all right? This is factual.
It's in magazines.
Yeah.
It's fact because it's in the magazines.
Okay. And that is, Utah has the best snow on earth. Now, what does that even mean? The best snow?
Is it the softest?
Yes. That's exactly what it means. Because you got to realize if you're a skier or a snowboarder, you're looking for soft snow when you're turning back and forth, so it can kind of like, you know, when it can kind of like support your weight, like as you go back and forth.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about it. I just want to go right now. You know?
I mean, even the Olympics went to Utah.
Yeah.
The Winter Olympics.
2002.
Yeah, I remember watching that when I was in high school. Oh my God, that was so long ago.
I was still in high school too. All right, yeah.
What class were you?
2003.
Oh, me too.
Okay.
So we're the same age.
All right. So you're 30. I'm coming up on 33.
Yeah, me too. In June, okay. I'll be 33.
All right. Oh, I'm still your P then because I'm gonna be 33 next month.
Oh, so, happy early birthday!
All right.
Maybe when this episode airs,
I'll be 33
in January.
Which I feel like 33 is a good age though.
Yeah.
Why? Because 3 is kind of a lucky number. Isn't
it?
Is
it?
Where? Well, I think it is.
Like,
okay, I'm just going to tell myself it is. So whatever. I feel good about 33.
So it's like double lucky.
Yeah.
Because it's 33.
Yeah, 33. So there you go. Anyway, yeah. So if you're going to Utah, it depends on what time of the year you're going and what kind of vacation you're expecting.
Mm-hmm. What would be some of the things that we don't know about Utah?
Well, I don't. If you're American, you'll know this. There's a large Mormon population in Utah.
Mm-hmm.
My family's, well, I shouldn't even say that. It's just mainly my parents are Mormon.
Mm-hmm.
I was Mormon, and my siblings were raised Mormon as well. I've got an older sister and 3 younger brothers.
Yeah.
And we were all raised in the Mormon church, and we, are grateful for our upbringing, and we love our parents, but we're just not into the Mormon religion anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And so in Utah, it's almost like they separate into 2 cultures, the Mormon culture and then the non-Mormon culture. And so it's a little polarizing.
Noticeable?
Yes, a little. And you'll see it because I follow the Salt Lake Tribune, the newspaper, on Facebook, just to see kind of the
so that you know what's going on at home.
Exactly. And there's always Mormon topics and people just arguing about Mormonism all the time. And for me, it's interesting because, it's my hometown and everything. Yeah. So I like to follow up on that kind of stuff. But that's one thing you might not know, the big Mormon population. But Mormons are great people and very happy.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll be the best neighbor you've ever had if you live next to one.
Mm-hmm.
And former Mormons like myself, or Formans is the term.
Former
Mormons.
Kind of like the grill.
Yeah.
Foreman grill.
George Foreman grill, yes. Pretty much. We're good people too, all right? We're all good. And, Utah, what else about Utah? They've got the Utah Jazz.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of Thai people be like, oh, Utah Jazz, ผมก็ดูนะ Karl Malone, John Stockton อะไรเงี้ย
Basketball team.
Yeah, but John Stockton and Karl Malone are gone now.
Yeah.
I mean, they've retired for years now. So.
And now, so if you ask this generation, they would be like, what? Who? Utah Jazz who? I'm just kidding.
Well, I mean, if they follow the NBA, they'll know who the Jazz are, but it's
sure.
not like the Jazz are like a great team anymore.
Yeah.
They had their run, though, back in, 90... When was that? 95, 96, 97-ish, where they went to the finals against Michael Jordan 2 years in a row, but lost both years. Which was sad.
I mean, it's versus Michael Jordan,
yeah.
So
and
it's
look,
sort of expected.
Look at me. Here I am wearing Jordans because I was a big fan, but I was against him when the Jazz were playing him in the finals.
Of course,
yeah.
hometown pride.
Yeah, I had to support them. So.
Yes.
Anyway.
Speaking of people from Utah, or I can't even
Utahns.
say it. Utahns.
If you want to throw in an accent, actually, Utahns have a very, very neutral accent. Like my accent is more like just a West Coast, like Oregon, Californian accent. But if you listen to people in Salt Lake City, their accents are very standard.
Yeah.
Unless you get outside the city, and then you'll get a little bit of a twang, you know what I mean? You'll have a little,
really?
Hey, let's go round up them cattle, you know?
Like the
Texan kind of.
Yeah, like the southern accent.
Just kind of, it doesn't matter where you are in America. If you're outside of the city, the accent will
be a little country.
Yeah, be a little country. Yeah. Like that kind of. But anyway, my accent's pretty standard, so it's easy to understand. Thai people don't have a problem listening to what I'm saying in English usually.
Yeah. So is there any characteristic for Utahns? Like, what would give you away? Like, let's say if you were to walk down the street and be like, oh my God, this person is from Utah.
No one would ever know. I mean,
right?
People know that I'm
can't
American
tell.
just because, you know, an American would recognize me as an American just from my accent. And, you know, someone from England would know, like, oh, you're American, because Americans, we pronounce our R's. We say R. We don't say ah. We don't say bottle of water. We say bottle of water, right? Yeah. We say it with like a dick, like a D, right? Bottle of water. But as far as like the way I carry myself and how I act, I guess I could come off as American, but the longer I'm in Thailand, you know, the less American I act, just because I absorb some of the Thai culture. And a lot of people say that when I go back to America, I'm a lot quieter than I used to be. And I'm already a loud person as it is. Really? But I'm just quieter and more, not conservative, what's the word? Reserved. I'm just more like, the word that comes into my mind in Thai is "gep tua," but that's kind of a negative meaning. I don't want to say that. It's more just like I'm just like not too opinionated about everything. I just kind of hold back, you know. But I don't think anything gives me away as a Utahn. Yeah. Hopefully, yeah.
What was it like growing up in Utah? What were you like in school?
You know, in school I was all about sports. I played baseball and basketball and American football.
Dang, you play it all.
Yeah, I did. And in fact, I also did track as well. I went to state in track and got.
What?
Yeah, I took region in the 100 and the 200 meter.
What?
Yeah.
So you're fast.
I was. Not anymore.
That's cool.
I was fast.
What other events do you do in track?
Just the 100, the 200. Everybody wanted me to do the 400, but I never did just because it was too long and I felt like I was gonna die.
That's how I did track too.
Yeah,
and that's how I did the 4x1.
Yeah, that was my other race, right? The 4x1.
And I did.
Which leg were you?
I was sometimes I'm the first leg, sometimes I'm the second leg, but most of the time I'm the first leg. What about you?
I was the third. Because I was good at the corners.
Yeah.
You know? Even though I was still the fastest on the team, depending on the day, I guess. Yeah. I was better at the corners, so we at state we were in first place when I gave the baton to the anchor.
Yeah, and then he ruined it.
I'm not gonna blame him. I'm not gonna blame him.
But I could tell that's where the story is going.
I'm not gonna blame him. I'm just saying we were in first place when I gave him the baton.
But he messed it up.
But here's the catch. You got to realize, like, everybody's anchor is like the fastest guy in the state.
Yes.
You know, caught him for sure.
Yeah.
And then the second fastest guy in the state, and he wasn't the fastest guy in the state, obviously. Our anchor, he was just one of the guys that could run relatively fast. Yeah. And he got caught by three guys, and so we took fourth.
Yeah. But like I was saying, the 4 would be a challenge to me. The 400 would be a challenge to me. To me, that's long distance.
Well,
even though it's not.
Well, it is.
Yeah.
It's because it's a 400-meter sprint.
Yeah, because you have to be able to pace yourself.
It's not like you're jogging. It's not the 800-meter. That's a really tough race because it's almost like you're jogging, but fast jogging. Yeah. But the 400, you still got to sprint, right? Yeah. My brother actually. He didn't take state in the 100 or the 200, but he took state in the 400, and he still rubs it in my face
to
this day.
Good. I did hurdles, so I did the 100.
Hurdles, nice.
Yeah, I did high hurdles. For a short person, everyone is like, what? That's another thing. My coach was like, do you want to try the 300 hurdles? I'm like, no, that's too far for me. That's too long. I'm like, that's long distance.
That's like one of the most brutal races out there right there because one, it's 300 meters and two, you've got to jump too. Yep. So that's got to take it out of you.
No, I'm good with the one. So you're a jock. You played a lot of sports.
I was all about sports growing up and board sports as well.
Yeah.
I wakeboard. I still do to this day. I mean, I don't have as much time as I used to. I mean, they have a Thai wake park here.
Yeah.
I go there, once every few months. But yeah, growing up, I was into ball sports, team sports, individual sports as well. You know, I played golf. I still play golf.
Wow.
Tennis.
Wow, you really are a sportsman.
That was my entire life until I came to Thailand and started studying Thai, and that became my life,
Yeah.
But, let's see here. Oh, and then, snowboarding, I was way into that. Skateboarding, longboarding, surfing. I had a little 3-month little surf binge that I moved from Salt Lake after I graduated from high school.
Yeah.
I was like, I got to get out of here. I don't want to live in Salt Lake City anymore. I want to get out of my parents' house. Mm-hmm. I don't want to go straight to college. I just want to take a year off, you know. So I just packed my things up in my tiny little Toyota Tercel, which was just a total crapper. It was a piece of crap. But, I mean, it was the only thing. It worked. Packed it all in the back seat, drove from Salt Lake to San Diego, lived there for 3 months and surfed every day and worked as a pizza delivery man. Oh, yeah.
That's like the California life. Surfing and pizza.
And I lived right on the beach in Mission Beach,
nice.
San Diego. It was awesome. Learned how to surf. Ran out of money and went back.
That's a good time to go back.
Yeah.
If you have to pick one sport, just one, what would be your most favorite one?
Baseball was probably my favorite all-around sport just because I probably excelled the most in baseball. Mm-hmm. But I ended up not playing baseball after my sophomore year in high school. Because, long story short, I just did track instead because I saw the potential because I was, in football, I was one of the faster guys. And so the track coaches were trying to get me to play or to run. Mm-hmm. And so I went that direction. But if I could go back in time, if I had to just choose one sport, it would have been baseball because I loved it. I still do, I miss it. In fact, I've even looked up baseball leagues here in Bangkok. They have a softball league for adults.
They do?
Yeah. And I actually was ready, signed up and everything, but it was my only day off is Sunday, and now I have my son, and I want to spend time with him. I didn't want to be like, all right, only day off, I'm going to be selfish and go play softball, But one of these days I'm going to.
Start your own team.
They have a team. That's so cool, though. That in Bangkok right here. Yeah. It's just like, all right. But it's softball, the bigger balls.
Yeah.
So.
Well, usually in the States, softball is usually for girls.
Yeah.
Like at our school, the guys would have the baseball team and then the girls would have the softball team.
And then as you get older, just like older people who want to still play some kind of something or other that has to do with baseball will start playing softball.
I see. You were sent to Thailand on a mission, right?
Yep.
And from what I've heard, Thailand wasn't your first choice. Or it wasn't even your choice at all.
No, it wasn't my choice. Yeah.
And you didn't get to pick your destination. So how did you feel the day you got the news? Were you excited? Were you upset? Or were you afraid? What were you feeling?
Definitely not upset. I was excited because, when I signed up for this program, I was wanting to do something out of the ordinary. I didn't want to go and be a missionary in Mississippi or something, I probably wouldn't have gone.
Where were you hoping? Where
I was
were you
hoping somewhere
to go
cool. My friend had just gotten called to Taiwan, and I had some friends that got called to South America, and there's just so many people getting called to cool places, and so I thought I hope I get somewhere exotic.
Yeah.
And when I read Bangkok, Thailand, I was like, yes, this
That's
is going to be
exotic.
awesome. Yeah, that's way exotic. On the other side of the world,
Yeah.
I'm not going to be, I'll be honest with you, I didn't know a lot about Thailand. I knew where it was. I knew it was in Asia, in Southeast Asia, but I didn't really know much about it. So I just Googled it, right, and started reading on Wikipedia about Thailand, and that's when I saw the Thai characters for the first time. Because if you get on the Wikipedia article about Thailand, it'll have Ratanajack Thai right there.
Yeah.
In Thai letters. And I remember thinking back then, like, oh no, that's a language? Oh crap. I'm never going to be able to read that, speak that, or do any of that. That's way too difficult.
Yeah.
You know? And nowadays, it's totally different. Now, it's probably the same feelings a Thai person would get when you look at like Cambodian or Chinese or, just totally different characters.
Yeah.
Chai Pasa Pawa, like that's a language? No way. So I was a little intimidated, I guess.
Yeah.
Felt like I was going to have to really put my full efforts into the language, and that's what I did.
So when you first got here, where did you stay?
Khon Kaen.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Ampho Mueang, in the city. I was there for 3 months, and then you ไม่ได้อยู่กับที่
Yeah.
If you're a missionary, you kind of just move around the country. So I was there for 3 months, and then I went to Buriram, and then I went to, let's see here. Then I was in Bangkok, and then I went to Udon, Sisaket. It was mostly just like in the Isan, and then also the Pak Klang in Gungthep.
Yeah.
And trying to think, I'm not forgetting anybody, am I? I think that's it. I think that's, yeah.
What do missionaries do?
Yeah, basically you wake up in the morning at about 6:30. According to the schedule back in my day, I don't know what it is like now, but we were supposed to exercise for 30 minutes. I usually didn't do that back.
What? But you're such a sports person. You're such a jock.
Well, I mean, we didn't have any like sports to play. It was like, oh, do some push-ups and some sit-ups. Oh, cool. Nope, I'm just going to keep sleeping. Thanks. ออกมาแฉตัวเองเลย Anyway. And then at 7 o'clock, we were supposed to start scripture study. And then at 8 o'clock, start language study. But for me, I would just start language study right away and not do a lot of scripture study. Oh, แชร์ตัวเองแล้ว
Wait, so language studies meaning studying Thai?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I would read Thai out loud at least an hour a day, every morning. Wow. Every morning, reading out loud. And, usually it was like scripture kind of stuff. And so I was still like, for me, I was justifying, because you were supposed to study the scriptures. ที่เขาเรียกว่าพระคัมภีร์ right? The พระคัมภีร์ Bible พระคัมภีร์ Mormon. I would just say, well, I'm reading the scriptures in Thai, so I can study Thai. And then I just read it out loud and practice my tones, practice my accent and all that. And then another hour was allotted for just language study. And so I just did 2 hours of Thai study every day, every morning. And throughout the day, like after that, you go to what do we do after that? Then you go to breakfast, and then you're off for the day, basically, where you're just out like trying to talk to people, trying to invite them to church. They would call it gan chua, and you had to try and like invite, at least 10 people to church a day if you could. Which, most people weren't interested. Yeah. And so basically, I would, after I'd invite them, I'd just try and talk to them about other stuff, because I wanted to practice my Thai.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, it was really tough because I couldn't understand what people were saying to me. And, I mean, they could understand me.
Yeah.
But I couldn't understand them. It was tough.
Yeah. That's amazing. How long did it take you to learn to read Thai and to speak it?
I could speak because they had like, what do they call it in Thai? It's like ภาษา karaoke, right? They had that like where they write it out in English and then you have like the tone markers and stuff.
Yes.
I could read that before I came to Thailand.
Okay.
But I first started practicing how to read actual Thai script when I got to Thailand. And, that took at least 3-4 months of, 2 hours a day.
Yeah.
after about a few weeks, I started recognizing all the characters, and I could say, "Oh, that's Gao Kai, and that's Kaw Kai, and that's Kaw Kwai." I could start identifying them, but the words, because in Thai, ไม่มีเว้นวรรค right? There's no spaces, and so you're like, "Oh crap, wait, is this the end of the word, or is that a new word? It's difficult." So once you start recognizing full words, because that's how you read Thai, right? You don't read it like letter by letter. You just see the word, and you know where it ends and where the next word begins. And once I could start identifying full Thai words, that's when it got more fluent. And when you're reading stuff in the scriptures, it gets kind of what's the word? Repetitive. It's just the same stuff over and over. So I could recognize words like, stuff about religion, คุณธรรม ความใจบุญ ความรัก ศรัทธา. I could see that like right away. Oh, okay, ศรัทธา. And then, while I'm reading ศรัทธา out loud, my eyes are going to the next word so I can try and be like fluent when I'm reading, right? ศรัทธา night, so, it took a while, but eventually I got it.
Yeah, your Thai is really good.
Thank you.
When you first moved here, what bothered you the most about Thailand, about living here?
Really, it was the language bothered. It just bothered me that I couldn't understand people, and I felt like, why I'm practicing every day. Why can't I understand what they're saying? Like, what's wrong with me?
Right?
Like, I'm really listening. คือที่ผมเรียนมามันไม่ใช่นะ คุณพูดผิดหรือเปล่าอะไรเงี้ย คือโทษคนอื่นนะไม่ใช่ผมนะคุณนั่นแหละพูดผิดนะ
Yes, question the locals.
That's not the right attitude, obviously. I had to humble myself and just be like, all right, it'll come eventually. You can't force it. Same with, Thai people learning English. It takes a while. You can't just expect yourself to become fluent within a few months or so. It takes a while. And so that was probably the most, I don't want to say it bothered me. It just kind of was depressing.
Yeah,
because
it's frustrating.
Yeah, that's the word, frustrating. It was just kind of like, should I just go home now? No. I'm not going to say it never crossed my mind. It definitely did.
Yeah.
But I just kept going, and after about 3 months, I felt like I started understanding about 50%.
Wow,
which
that's fast.
If you can understand 50%, you can just pick up like one out of every, not even that, I'll say like 30%. Okay. 1 out of 3, 33%. Then you can actually จับใจความ right? You can actually like, okay, I understand what the topic is. All right, but I can't really say anything yet, so I'm just cup,
เก็บข้อมูล
เห็นด้วย okay,
That would be funny if they were saying something like totally like that you didn't agree with. They're like เห็นด้วย
Well, it's just like the yes syndrome that we talk about with some people learning English. They'll just like yes to everything. Yes. Are you an idiot? Yes. And just like me, like คุณเป็นคนโง่ไหมใช่ครับ คุณชอบกินหมาไหมชอบครับ
The yes syndrome. I love it. All right, now let's talk about your English teaching career. Before you became อาจารย์อดัม, you were almost hired by Google Thailand.
Yes, I was.
Yeah, tell us about that.
I had started getting some, because I started on YouTube, actually, teaching English, just filming like little short clips. And then I started getting some not offers as like, just like some small gigs, someงานวิทยากร where I was like a guest speaker, right?
Yeah.
And at the same time, I was looking for a job in Thailand, like an actual desk job or an office job. When Google Thailand had just opened up an office here. This had to be 2009 or 2010, somewhere around there. And, actually, before that, I just ran into someone on a plane, basically. She was a lady that worked for Google in Singapore, was sitting next to me on a plane.
Yeah.
And she said, yeah, we're opening up an office in Thailand just this coming year. You should send me your resume and I'll forward it to my boss and give a good word in, because I guess we had some good chemistry, or, you know, I mean, she was older. It's not like we're like flirting, but I'm just saying like we, you know, we had, we just, you know, we got along well.
Yeah, you clicked.
Yeah, we clicked. And so I sent her my resume and she forwarded it. And when they opened up the office, they interviewed me, and I went to the second interview and the third interview, and the fourth interview was a phone interview. So I had passed all 3 stages, and it was just one more interview.
Yeah.
And then I would get the job, right? And they called, and they told me ahead of time what time they were going to call, but they called on a day that I had a job as a guest speaker at a university. And I was starting to get this feeling like, hey, maybe I've got something going here. Like if I continue this English gig, just like this career path as an English teacher, maybe I've got you know, my own career that I can just, you know, work for myself. I don't have to go work for someone else.
Yeah.
And as they call, I'm like pretty much getting on stage, and you know, I had like 15 minutes until I was getting on stage, and I was like, I just answered the phone. I was like, you know what? I appreciate it, but I'm just gonna say I'm going to turn you down for this time. Thank you very much. And then, you know, 10 minutes later, I was on the stage, and I felt relieved because I had made that decision after thinking about it for so long. Okay, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Do I want to go to Google? And now, even to this day, I'm still like, you know, what could have been, you know? Could I be like Google's CEO right now? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you would have been like an office man.
Yeah, I would have been just like
working for your own self.
The 9 to 5 kind of guy. But, you know, I'm sure it would have worked out either way.
Yeah.
But I feel like I made the right decision because, you know, being Ajahn has really changed my life. And I feel like I'm helping people. I'm helping Thailand. And I enjoy it. You know, it's not like I wouldn't enjoy Google, but I like to work for myself. Well, work for my wife, really. She's my boss, my real boss. Okay? I'm her palitapan. Right? She sells me. All right, she slangs me.
What position was it? Do you remember for Google?
It was just analyst or something. You know, like just like barely entry level employee, basically.
It's almost like fate, and you decided your own fate too. You know, by saying no to them, you are creating your own path.
Yeah.
To becoming Ajahn Adam. That's really cool.
Yeah, it was interesting. I'm glad I'm here today. You know, you wouldn't be interviewing me if it weren't for my decision, right? So there you go.
I would probably not like even know who you are.
Yeah, exactly.
Or maybe I would know you because you're so big at Google.
No, I would be the CEO by now for sure. No, I probably would have quit Google and just been like, Mark Zuckerberg, move over. Adam Bradshaw's here. No, I'm kidding. Chit sai na Mark.
So eventually you chose to be Ajahn Adam. What do you like so much about teaching? Or, you know, motivational speaking?
Usually my motivational speeches are about learning a language. I've done some other kind of like cultural speeches where I talk about the differences between Thailand and America and Western and Eastern culture, but I don't do that as much. I don't feel like I'm I'm not really an expert about Asian culture in general. I'm more of an expert about just American and Thai culture, which we can't just overgeneralize and say, oh, American culture is Western culture and Thai culture is Asian culture. You know, that's just kind of ignorant. Yeah. So anyway, I do some of those, but usually it's, you know, motivating people and giving them tips about how to learn a language effectively and fast. And a lot of the time, the main topic is, you know, realizing the fact that you're going to struggle. You're going to make mistakes. You're never going to be perfect. It's not your language. I mean, there's a difference for people that like for you, you grew up in America, so, you know, learning English probably was a little easier as a kid, right? Yeah. For an adult, learning a language is much more difficult because our brains are, you know, already like they've already formed into like, you know, whatever you are. And so like absorbing a new language is tough. Yeah. So a lot of the times it's just saying stuff like, you know, Learn and laugh at your mistakes. Don't take it too seriously. Success will come with those who can humble themselves and accept the fact that you're always going to make mistakes. It doesn't, like, even in English, we make mistakes. Like, I'm a native speaker. I still make mistakes in English. And I don't care. It's not like I'm a perfectionist to that point where I feel like I need to be perfect in everything I do. But sometimes in Thailand, people feel like English is just a subject that we learn in school so we can take a test. And if we pass the test, yippee, that's it.
Yep.
I don't need to speak or listen to anybody, but I can pass this test. I can tell you that's present perfect and that's past simple and that's กริยาช่อง3อันนั้นช่อง2อันนั้นก็เป็นบุพบทอันนั้นก็เป็นกริยาอันนั้นก็เป็นคำนาม which is good for analyzing language. I'm not ไม่ได้แอนตี้แกรมมานะไม่ได้แอนตี้ไวยากรณ์มันก็ดีนะผมก็ศึกษาเรื่องไวยากรณ์ของภาษาไทยเหมือนกัน I studied Thai grammar otherwise I wouldn't be where I am today but people need to realize and this is the point that I always am trying to reiterate and just tell people is English is more than just a subject. It's a skill, it's a tool, right? English in your everyday life is just communication. English for testing is, you've got A, B, C, D, sometimes E, 5 different choices. Only 1 out of the 5 is correct. But in real life, it's just A and B. A is your listener understands what you're saying, and B is ngong, right? That's it. A and B, ฝรั่งเข้าใจกับฝรั่งไม่เข้าใจ. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And you can actually get your listener to understand without speaking perfectly. You can have a Thai accent. You can have incorrect grammar, and your listener can still understand what you're saying. Now, that's not saying that you shouldn't try and improve. Obviously, we can continue to improve our language skills and try and get better and learn from our mistakes. But at the same time, it's okay to make mistakes. It's just try and communicate. Use ภาษากาย body language, right? Use your hands. That's fine. That's totally fine. And the other thing I tell them, people that, if they're my students or if it's at a speech is the fact that foreigners that are in Thailand like Thai people a lot. Otherwise, they wouldn't be here, right? And so they're not coming here to fix your grammar or to be like, เอ้ยฟังไม่รู้เรื่องสำเนียงไม่ดีไม่คุยด้วยแล้ว No one does that. I mean,
they're not here to judge you.
Yeah, they're not here to judge your English. They don't. I mean, as long as they see that you're making the effort to communicate, they're like already impressed. You know what I mean? So, it's all about attitude, and I think that's the main thing. That I guess the question really was like, what do you like about teaching? Really, it's the fact that I get to motivate and inspire people to come out of their comfort zone and try and, talk to other people that are foreigners in Thailand. Because you got to realize another thing is because Thai people might be scared of foreigners sometimes.
Yeah.
But usually foreigners are more scared of Thai people than Thai people are scared of foreigners.
Really?
Because Thai people are Daoban, right?
Yeah.
This is your country.
Of course. It's our turf.
Exactly. Ben Jiao Tin, right? This is your turf. So, foreigners, if let's say you went to America or a Thai person went to America and a Farang like me, an American came up to you and spoke to you in Thai, you'd be stoked. Like, this is cool. Nice.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be sitting there like, เมื่อกี้สำเนียงเพี้ยนไม่ฟัง you wouldn't be like, นั่งจับผิด you wouldn't be like nitpicky, right?
You'd appreciate it.
Exactly. Same goes for foreigners in Thailand. If you go up and say hello to them, try and meet them, try and ask them about their vacation here. How do you like it?
Yeah.
99% of them are going to have a positive reaction. Obviously, 1% will be, อาจจะเจอฝรั่งนิสัยเสียบ้าง but remember, that's just 1%. ก็คืออดัมคนเดียวนะอดัมนิสัยเสียนะ No, just kidding.
Just 1%.
Yeah.
So when was the first time that you realized that you were famous and that you probably became someone who had positive influence on people's lives?
probably when people started asking for pictures, when I
Yeah.
was just walking around outside and stuff. I mean, that was quite a few years back because I started on YouTube and then got on Channel 5 and then it was Channel 9 and then I was just kind of all over TV and then this digital era started and now I got a gig on Channel 3 and that's huge for me. The Channel 3 gig is pretty sweet. And, I still try and be down to earth and realize that I'm lucky to be where I am. I don't want to be some arrogant D-bag, excuse my French, but I just want to be down to earth and nice to people and smiley and enjoy the moment and carpe diem, as it were, right?
Why do you think most Thai people aren't as good in English as they could potentially be? What is the major obstacle?
I mean, for me, I don't think it has anything to do with Thai people's potential because, I know several, I want to say thousands or even, not millions, but I know at least thousands because I've had thousands of students over the years.
Yeah.
That couldn't speak any English at all and started from step one and eventually were able to speak it. So I know that everybody has the potential to speak English well. I mean, not perfectly, but fluently and effectively and proficiently. And so why are some people not proficient in English? For me, it's more just like they just haven't put the time in. Because if you put the time in, you're definitely going to get it eventually. I think it's just a matter of time management, you know what I mean, and priorities. People that put English as a high priority on their list of priorities that will eventually speak it well. They were, ภาคเพียรขยัน and สุดท้ายก็พูดได้
So you're a husband and also a father now. You married a Thai woman, right? And now you have a son together. So tell us a little bit about Austin.
Austin is 1.5, coming up on 2 in March. He is a very happy-go-lucky little guy, smiley, laughs all the time.
Aww.
Just will, turn your frown upside down every time you see him.
Aww.
I come home from work and he's just like, now he says, dad, 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 dad all the time. And he's a little slower with because he's a เด็กสองภาษา, right? So he's a bilingual kid. I only speak English to him. My wife speaks some English to him, but mostly Thai. And then her mom, she doesn't live with us, but she comes over, at least 1 month, or 1 week out of the month and stays with us. And so she speaks only Thai to him. And actually my wife's dad or my father-in-law is คนอีสาน, right? But my mother-in-law is คนภาคกลาง. And so she doesn't speak Isan to him. She just speaks Thai to him. But a lot of my relatives or just like my in-laws have said, you got to get him to speak Isan as well so he can be, fluent in 3 languages.
Yeah.
And I felt like, let's just do 2 first and then we can throw in Isan maybe later.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's the love of our lives for sure. And he's definitely changed our lives in a very positive way. Because I wake up every morning, I feel like, okay, I'm doing all this for him and, waking up really early in the morning. I'm doing it for him.
Yeah. Aw, that's sweet.
And then my wife is actually pregnant. She's 4 or 5 months pregnant. And we just got the ultrasound last week, and it's another boy.
Congrats!
Yeah. So we're excited about that. Yeah. That's going to be fun.
Oh, that's great news.
We're trying to think of the name. She's very set on Maxwell. I haven't agreed to that yet, though. So we'll see.
Maxwell, that's cute.
Yeah. But she was a little disappointed, I'll be honest.
Because she wanted a girl?
She acted like she wanted a boy. Like we went in for the ultrasound. She's like, yeah, I want a boy. Because I wanted a boy.
Yeah.
I wanted Austin to have a little brother.
And then when she saw the ultrasound.
Then she's like, because she wanted to name our girl Bella.
Oh.
And either way, we might have number 3, we might not. We'll just one at a time.
Yeah.
So,
oh.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's really great news. So do you recommend raising kids to be, bilingual if neither of the parents are native?
I would say it's better than not doing it. I've seen some internet trolls say, "Oh, ถ้าเป็นคนไทยไม่ต้องพูดอังกฤษกับลูกอย่างเงี้ย and I don't agree with that. I think that you know, if you can use native video like any kind of like สื่อภาษาอังกฤษที่มาจากเจ้าภาษา and just use that to help teach your kids, that's fine. But you don't have to expect yourself to be a native if you're trying to help your kid learn English. They'll pick it up through movies and TV shows. And I mean, YouTube these days is full of cartoons and stuff. Like my son is all about Bob the Train.
Oh,
yeah. Have you ever seen Bob the Train?
It's everywhere.
Yeah, it's
all
awesome.
The little boys love it.
Bob the Train, like, oh, there's so many little cartoons and they'll pick it up just from that.
Yeah.
So I don't agree with that. I think Thai parents should give it a whirl, and you know, if you make a few mistakes, not a big deal. You know, like I said, we're all humans. We're imperfect creatures. No one should expect perfection from themselves.
Okay. Our next section is called This or That. Here are 3 pairs of words or situations. You'll pick one for each pair and then explain or elaborate on your choice. Superpower, Iceman, or Human Torch?
Human Torch.
Why?
Just because I think it'd be cool to burn things. Like, I guess when I was a kid, I was kind of a pyro, you know, just like burning crazy
God.
stuff.
All right. Eating nothing but super hot, spicy dishes for a year, or eating nothing but super bland, tasteless dishes for a year?
Super spicy, for sure.
Yeah?
I guess it would take me a while to get used to the spice, because I can actually eat pretty spicy food these days.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't want to eat just nasty, bland crap for an entire year. I'd rather go with the extreme of the extreme spice flavor as well.
Yeah. Deleting the knowledge of all your Thai language skills or deleting the knowledge of all your English language skills. That's a tough one.
You know, I wouldn't do either. I would just have to be like, nope, neither.
You work too hard for them.
Exactly. But I mean, I feel...
take Spanish.
Yeah. Yeah, you can take Spanish and you can take any Chinese that I know. Just take it. But I'm not going to let you take my Thai or my English.
All right, so our next section is called What If? And please draw a question from our jar.
All right.
And we'll do it
jar.
Miss Universe style. Here, I'll read it.
Oh, okay.
You don't get to see it first.
Uh-oh. Are these like risque kind of questions?
No, these are like mostly hypothetical.
Okay.
Mostly. If a witch came along and used some random magic to turn you into an animal, what kind of animal would you be and why? ถ้าถูกสาปให้เป็นสัตว์ชนิดหนึ่งคุณคิดว่าคุณจะกลายเป็นสัตว์อะไรและทำไมคะ
This is easy. Nok Insi. I would be an eagle.
Why? Because you're an American?
Oh, not just because, I mean, that's cool too. I could be a bald eagle. I could be a hawk. Or maybe even a falcon because they're the fastest birds. But I just love to just soar, you know? Just like, I've had dreams before. This is like a reoccurring dream that I have like maybe once a year of just flying. I'm just like, you know, it sounds weird, but it's cool, okay?
No, it's not weird.
All right.
Thank you so much for being here today, and it was such a pleasure talking to you. It was so much fun.
It was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. I'm glad that I was able to come here, and thank you for inviting me and having me, everybody. That was awesome.
Thank you.
สวัสดีครับ
ถ้ารู้ว่าเพื่อนคนไหนรักภาษาอังกฤษชอบฟังภาษาอังกฤษและเรื่องราวชีวิตที่น่าสนใจของเซเลบหลากหลายโบฝากแชร์เอพิโซดนี้ให้เขาฟังด้วยนะคะ
Binge listen to all of our shows and episodes at thestandard.co/podcast. The Standard Podcast เปิดหูเปิดตาเปิดใจเปิดโลก